During the Spanish colonial period, large-scale land grabbing and usurious lending led to increased land inequality. Many of the elite or the principalia illegally accumulated land through usurious lending. Worse, the people, mostly farmers, were subjected to forced labor and the encomienda system. They were forced to borrow money from the elites to feed their families. The loaned money came with usurious interest rates, and when those were not paid, the elites confiscated the lands. By the time the U.S. colonial rule granted property, tenancy, and usufruct rights, illiterate and poor farmers had difficulty acquiring land titles.
Alam niyo, nagkaroon na ng land reform under the Americans. Mga lupa ng mga fraile, reform nila. Kaya lang, may poison pill yung land reform law na yun. Kasi sinabi, kung gusto niyo yung lupa, kailangan bibilhin niyo. Eh, anong gagamitin ng mga farmer para bibilhin? Walang binigay na, a long period of time to pay for it, etc. So, ang nakabili ng lupa, hindi yung mga farmers, kundi yung mga businessmen. Kaya nagkaroon sila ng katakot-takot ng daming land. Right after the war, yung si Luis Taruk, Hukbulahap, came in because talagang galit na galit sila na hindi sila binibigyan ng kanilang lupa. So, 1947, and Luis Taruk was already on the outskirts of Manila because talagang malakas ang ugong ng land reform. You must remember, Central Luzon was full of farmers and they were very supportive of Luis Taruk.
Nagtrabaho ko sa water supply, ganun. Magandang trabaho ko dito eh. Hindi na masyadong mahirap.
Maganda rin naman yun. Noong hindi pa nga kwan, maayos naman nung una.
Meron kaming rice ration noon. Meron kaming sugar ration. Tapos meron din binibigay na educational loan. Ganun. Ayun, tinatamasa lahat namin noon yun. Maganda yun yung hospital eh, na nawala ngayon. Yung hospital namin noon, kahit wala kang pera, pwede kang i-admit eh. Tapos kakaltasin na lang sa sahod noon. Yun ang pinakamagandang nakita ko sa kumpanya namin noon, yung hospital.
Meron po kaming mga educational loan. Yung mga anak po namin bukod doon, meron pong libreng pasahe, yung mga nag-aaral sa bayan ng Tarlac. Nagkakaroon po kami ng 13-month pay at saka Christmas bonus.
That is as it may be, but that hospitalization and those education plans all came out of the sweldo of the farmers. Lahat yan. Kuha sa kanilang sweldo. And the farmers are supposed to work 214 days a year. They were not working 214. So their sweldo was very little. And that is the reason why in 2004, 2005, 2006, there were problems.
Gaya nun nagtatrabaho kami. Bago ka magtrabaho, may utang ka na. Kaya pag nagsahod ka, yun, yung sasahurin mo, kakaltasin nila yung utang mo.
Kinakaltas din kasi ng management yung binibigay na subsidy sa amin pagka walang trabaho. Hindi naman biglaan, konti-konti lang. Kaya lang kung talagang marami kang utang, dating na sahod, hindi wala na rin matitira, konti na lang. Hindi maabot ng pangangailangan ng tao.
That land reform, that distribution of that Luisita land should have happened in 1968. 68, even before any land reform. Ayan ang kondisyon kung paano nakahiram ang Hacienda Luisita ng pera sa Central Bank at saka sa SSS. In 10 years, this land must be given to the farmers. Hindi nangyari. It's terrible how we have mistreated our farmers. And it's terrible because agrarian reform is key. Successful agrarian reform is key to development.
Nagsimula po ang gulo rito magmula noong 2004. November 6, nag-strike ang mga manggagawa. Inudyo ka pinasukan po ng mga alyansa, yung mga anak Paris, Bayan Muna. Sila po yung mga nabudyok sa mga tao rito. Kaya po yung mga tao rito nagrebelde. Sa totoo lang po, damay lang kami. Dahil kami ayaw namin yung gulo. Nagsawalang kibo kami.
Pero nung wala pa yung welga, kakasurvive talaga yung tao. Maganda rin yung sitwasyon nun. Bawat pangangailangan din ng tao, binibigay din ng management doon eh. Mula nung mag-welga naman na yun, nagkaos na yung mga tao dahil nga doon sa nangyaring welga.
Kung nagtatrabaho ko, magandang buhay namin dito. Wala kaming nahihirap. Maganda. Mula nung maraming umawak dito, nagsilit-silit trabaho. Kasi maraming di taga ritong sumama sa kanila eh. Maraming MP na, ay.
Muntik na nga mga matay yung mga anak kong dalawa doon sa strike. Nung mag-strike sila, di ba naglaban doon? Dalawang anak kong pinatanan doon noon. Tumatakbo sila, wala nang sinelas, dungis pa nilang umuwi noon.
You know, yes, because up to now, in the very hard left, sasabihin ko sa inyo, are against agrarian reform as it is being practiced now. Ang kasing gusto nila yung compulsory acquisition na walang bayad. Diba? Hindi naman pwede yun eh. They want the land reform program to fail because their alternative is we will have a violent takeover of government and then we will distribute the land like it was done in North Korea, for God's sake. See what happened to North Korea now. It is ironic that dito sa land reform na ito talagang kawawa yung farmers eh. Yung landowners ayaw mag-succeed ang agrarian reform. Gusto nila ang lupa nila ba? Yung mga left naman ayaw mag-succeed yung agrarian reform kasi gusto nila yung kanilang estilo ang gagamitin. Sino ang nasa gitna? Yung farmers. Kaya ang kailangan tututukin natin yung farmers, wag na natin tutukin yung left. Pwede ba? Tulungan natin ang mga farmers.
Kailangan magkaroon ng dignidad ang bawat magsasaka na pwede niya ipagmalaki yung kanyang profesyon na pagsasaka.
Siyempre mahalaga sa amin ito. Mayroon na kaming pinanghahawakan na katibayan na yung lupa sa amin na. Di ba? Siyempre, ibinigay nila sa amin ito, dapat itong papel na ito, kahit na papel lang ito, mahalaga ito. Gusto ko sana kung halimbawa, kumita na kami, maayos yung bahay namin. Walang pagsidlan sa saya ang nakamit namin ngayon. Sobrang saya namin dahil napunta na sa amin ang lupa talaga. Ito, masasabing pag-aari na namin ito.
Sana, lalo na ngayon, natudukan na yung problema, no? Dito sa asyenda. Sana ang gawin na lang ng ibang kabarangay, magtulungan na lang para sikay uunlad ng buhay, hindi na yung nagbabangayan. Para medyo umunlad naman yung pamumuhay ng tao, lalo na ngayon nasa amin na yung lupa.
You have to look at it differently from people like us. Because from people like us who have excessive property, we see land as a form of security. But to a farmer, a small farmer, when he owns a piece of land, he's not going to borrow it. What he's going to do is finally, he has a property, he has assets that he can now invest in, and he can leave it to his children. So it's more than just security to him. It's more than just a business to him. It's more than just a livelihood to him. So he's going to improve it, he's going to work on it, and he's going to build on it. And that's how he's going to look at it. So to him, this is not just a business. This is his life already. When we talk of capital, we talk of money. To him, his capital is his time, his effort, his children's effort, and all the work that his children and his family is going to put into that land. That is his capital.
Nandito ang kayamanan eh. Yayaman ko dito. Sasarap ang buhay namin dito. Siyempre, bibigay sa amin lupa ito eh. Sigurado kayo mga nito.
If you have inclusive growth and you're able to make the farmer prosper, what does that mean? He will now buy things that the manufacturing sector is producing, foodstuff, drugs, bicycles, or whatever. So that will be a direct, that will have a direct impact on businessmen. That means that their market will grow because 50% of our people live in rural areas, and agrarian reform is the fastest way and the surest way towards that.
And then they must have a banking system, finance, that is going to focus on manufacturing and on agriculture. Not for consumers. Not for consumers, but for producers, particularly farmers. The consensus is that the basis for economic development is agrarian reform.
Matuwid was based really on institutionalizing the rule of law. After more than 40 years, we are seeing land reform actually being implemented. Because the key or essence of agrarian reform is compulsory acquisition. Now we are seeing that the law is being implemented, not just in letter, but also in the spirit, which means compulsory acquisition.
Para naman po sa iba pang malalawak na lupain, matagal na nating inatasan ng DAR, DNR, LRA at Land Bank na bumuo ng balangkas kung paano mapapabilis ang pagproseso sa pagbabahagi ng lupain para ayusin ang sistemang ito, at nasa punto na tayo ngayon kung kailan kaya nating siguruhin. Sa susunod na taon, naihain na ang lahat ng mga notice of coverage para sa mga lupaing saklaw ng komprehensibong reformang agraryo.
And if we see that the President is following the law in La Hacienda Luisita, then we can now turn to the others and say, if the President can do this in the land owned by his relatives, it can be done anywhere with any family. And that is the rule of law, where it is not selective. We have to institutionalize the rule of law in order to remove all these obstacles to economic growth.
We have a long way to go. This is a first step. It's a journey of 1,000 miles. This is a first step. To me, the test of the government's will is to get after all those stock distribution options which have essentially left the farmers still not in possession of their land. Because the government's role is to fight for the farmers. The people who have less in life must have more in law.
And then trust in the Filipinos, the ingenuity, the hard work. Look at all the Filipinos that have gone abroad and done wonders in other countries. They have an environment where they can do their best. Make the Philippines have that same kind of environment. You will see how great this country can be.